what everyone else wants and jumping through hoops for everyone else. Many of my listeners and YouTube video viewers have written comments about not knowing what's wrong with them. You may have written a comment like that. You may have said you just don't want to do the social things that you used to do anymore. You prefer to stay at home and be alone. One woman lamented the fact that she doesn't feel compelled or even excited to put up holiday decorations anymore. And she felt a bit guilty, but she couldn't understand why that guilt didn't force her to do it anyway, the way it would have had she still had her oxytocin. And I responded that she was normal. It's all a direct result of oxytocin loss. Way back, I gave you a podcast about menopause and divorce. And I told you that statistically, 65% of divorces at the time of menopause are due to the woman's desire for independence. And that's because of oxytocin loss too. Most women who divorce at the time of menopause do not remarry. The last thing they want is to get tied down with another man. They aren't just bored with their current spouse. They aren't just interested in cavorting with a different man. They're just done with having the bonds of marriage, period. And their glue is gone. At menopause, they want to detach. Just think of all the things that are tied in with bonding. They include a lot of things other than falling in love and cuddling. I mean, every relationship in your life requires some degree of bonding, and menopause entails loosening those bonds. So it takes many different forms. Suddenly you just kind of don't care what everyone else wants to do, and you aren't willing to forfeit your preferences for the sake of everyone else. And you just don't want to spend as much time with others. You don't bear the responsibility of solving everyone else's problems. And you pull away from toxic relationships. You don't even maintain as many friendships anymore. And heck, you certainly don't go around trying to make new friends. You find it easy just to say no. You see, all of these are normal behaviors. They're essentially the very same things that your kids do to you when they go through puberty. So don't beat yourself up. You're just responding in accordance with your hormones, or lack thereof. The problem is that society doesn't talk about the social consequences of menopause like they do about puberty. If they did, your husband would say, I'm going to make sure I do whatever it takes to make her want to stay married to me. And your kids would say, when she stops solving all my problems for me, I'm just going to remember how many she fixed. And your friends would say, I won't take it personally if she can't find time to see me as much. You see, they would all get it. As it stands now, with no education about this, people just think you're depressed or something. You may think you're depressed too. And like I said at the beginning, get them to listen to this podcast. It will preserve your relationships to the extent that you want to preserve them. So you can actually blame all your social issues on the loss of oxytocin. Oh, and unlike estrogen, there is no replacement for oxytocin. It's gone. It's gone forever. And because it's gone, it's your turn. Time to do what you want to do. And if you don't know it already, I write articles. I write a lot of articles on menopause, and I make them really fun. I wrote one called Mama Comes Unglued. And you can find it and dozens of others on my website at menopausetailor.me. They're free, and you'd be surprised at how much you can learn just by reading these fun articles, and you'll probably get a few laughs out of it at the same time. And this video brings to a conclusion our WHAM series. I've given you 10 videos on the WHAM series. I gave you what dries up at menopause, I gave you what shrinks at menopause. I gave you what grows at menopause, what sags at menopause, what gets harder at menopause, what appears at menopause, what disappears at menopause, what gets better at menopause, what gets worse at menopause, and this one, what happens socially at menopause. And these common themes help you to understand how what you're going through makes sense. And I love it when it gives you peace of mind to know that you're normal. One of the things that I love the reassurance that this education gives women. You know, so many women go through so much misery and have so many problems for years before they find this education. And when they finally find the education, they are just relieved, so relieved that they aren't abnormal. And they love knowing that all of their issues physically are all one thing, not 22, 23 things. And so one of the things that this education does for you is it gives you knowledge so that you know you're normal, and you can then deal with this in a way that will productively take care of it however you want. The name of this education is Your Menopause Your Way. And so it's not about pushing any management style on you. It's about knowing that you have many choices, but also that you're really normal and that some things just don't need to be fixed. And your oxytocin loss is one of those things that doesn't need fixing. Even if you want it fixed, it doesn't get fixed because you need to do your thing, probably for the first time in your life, and focus on yourself. So at this crazy time in our world when we're all isolated socially and no one's supposed to socialize with others, you're going to find that your oxytocin just comes in handy. And as much as everyone hates the idea of there even being a coronavirus, and as much as everyone hates the idea of having to be forced to be isolated, with your menopausal status and your loss of oxytocin and having no more glue, you might just find it pretty wonderful that you get to spend some time alone and not have to take care of everybody else. But see, you got to make sure that you don't end up stuck with everybody else. So, decide to go someplace and be all by yourself. And just think about some of these things. Actually, it's a wonderful time for you to isolate yourself enough to get this whole education. I mean, think about it. Just go ahead and get all the webinars, or watch all the videos, or sit and read the book if you have it. Take the time to get the education. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful opportunity. And don't forget to go to my website. It's menopausetailor.me. There you can find all the fun articles, the book, all kinds of things that will be resources for learning, but also consultations. Consultations are the biggest, best ticket item I have to offer you because I cover everything and I tailor it all to you, specifically to you. And there's nothing better than that because we aren't robots, we aren't alike, and every situation is unique. So consider scheduling a consultation. Anytime, I'm always around to help you. I love helping you. Go to my YouTube channel, which is Menopause Tailor, and just take advantage of this education because I am the only person on the planet giving you an education. It's the truth. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is. You deserve this education, and it's never been available to you before. Now it is. Please take the time, focus on yourself, and be selfish enough, in a good way, to give yourself this education. So I will bid you goodbye now. Come back next time when we will get beyond and go to the next little bit of a unit outside of what happens at menopause. Bye.